10 biggest mistakes in history that changed the world. History is often shaped by brilliant inventions, great leaders, and remarkable achievements. But sometimes, the biggest turning points come from simple human mistakes. A wrong decision, a missed warning, or even a moment of bad luck can trigger events that change the course of history forever. Whether it was an accident, an oversight, or a costly miscalculation, these 10 mistakes had consequences that no one could have imagined. Mistake 1. The wrong turn that started World War I. In 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was visiting Sarajevo when his driver accidentally took a wrong turn. Earlier that day, a group of assassins had already failed in their attempt to kill him, and it seemed the danger had passed. But after the driver realized his mistake and stopped to reverse, the car ended up just a few feet away from Gavrilo Princip, one of the assassins. Seeing an unexpected second chance, Princip fired 2 shots, killing the Archduke and his wife. The assassination sparked a chain reaction of alliances and declarations of war, leading to World War I, a conflict that claimed millions of lives and reshaped the modern world. Mistake 2. The Titanic ignored iceberg warnings. Before the Titanic struck an iceberg on its maiden voyage in 1912, several nearby ships sent radio messages warning of dangerous ice fields ahead. Many of these warnings were never delivered to the bridge because the radio operators were busy sending passengers personal messages. Confident in the ship's design, the Titanic continued traveling at nearly full speed through the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Late that night, the crew finally spotted an iceberg, but it was too late to avoid a collision. More than 1,500 people lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. Mistake 3. NASA lost a $125 million spacecraft over units. In 1999, NASA's Mars Climate Orbiter was destroyed because of a surprisingly simple mistake. One engineering team used the metric system while another used the imperial system, and the mismatch went unnoticed during the mission. As a result, the spacecraft entered Mars' atmosphere at the wrong altitude instead of safely entering orbit. It was either destroyed in the atmosphere or flew off into space, ending the mission instantly. A simple unit conversion error ended up costing around $125 million. Mistake 4. The Chernobyl safety test. In 1986, workers at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant carried out a safety test to see how the reactor would behave during a power outage. To perform the test, several important safety systems were switched off, and a series of operator errors caused the reactor to become dangerously unstable. Within seconds, 2 massive explosions tore through the reactor, releasing huge amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere. Entire towns were evacuated, and the disaster contaminated large parts of Europe. It remains the worst nuclear accident in history. Mistake 5. Burning the Library of Alexandria. Although historians still debate exactly how and when it was destroyed, the loss of the Library of Alexandria is considered one of history's greatest intellectual tragedies. The library contained hundreds of thousands of scrolls covering science, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, and history from across the ancient world. When it was destroyed, countless works disappeared forever, taking with them knowledge that may never be recovered. It's impossible to know just how much human understanding was lost. Mistake 6. Blockbuster rejected Netflix. Around the year 2000, Netflix was still a small company that rented DVDs through the mail. Its founders offered to sell the business to Blockbuster for about $50 million, believing the two companies could work together. Blockbuster's executives didn't think online rentals had much of a future and rejected the offer. Over the next 2 decades, Netflix became one of the world's largest entertainment companies, while Blockbuster struggled to adapt and eventually disappeared from the market. Mistake 7. The Trojan Horse. According to ancient Greek legend, after years of unsuccessful fighting, the Greeks appeared to sail away and left behind a giant wooden horse as a peace offering. Believing they had won the war, the people of Troy brought the horse inside their city walls as a symbol of victory. Hidden inside were Greek soldiers, who emerged during the night, opened the city gates, and allowed the rest of the Greek army to enter. Whether entirely true or partly mythical, the story has become one of history's most famous examples of deception. Mistake 8. Losing an entire city. In 79 AD, the Roman city of Pompeii sat at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. Although residents had experienced earthquakes and other warning signs for years, few realized that the mountain was actually an active volcano. When Vesuvius erupted, it sent clouds of ash and deadly volcanic gases racing toward the city. Within hours, Pompeii was buried beneath several meters of ash, preserving buildings, streets, and even the final moments of many of its inhabitants. The city remained hidden for nearly 1,700 years before being rediscovered. Mistake 9: The Bay of Pigs invasion. In 1961, the United States supported an invasion of Cuba by a group of Cuban exiles hoping to overthrow Fidel Castro. American leaders believed the invasion would inspire the Cuban people to rise up against Castro's government. Instead, the expected rebellion never happened. The invasion was quickly defeated, many of the invaders were captured, and Castro emerged stronger than before. The failed operation embarrassed the United States and increased tensions between the US and the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Mistake 10: The password that opened a fortune. In 2013, a British man named James Howells accidentally threw away a hard drive while cleaning his house. The drive contained the private key needed to access 8,000 Bitcoin that he had mined years earlier, when the cryptocurrency was worth very little. As Bitcoin's value skyrocketed over the following decade, the lost fortune became worth hundreds of millions of dollars and at times, even more than $1 billion. Despite years of trying to recover the hard drive from a landfill, he has never regained access to the Bitcoin. Some mistakes last only a few seconds, while others leave a mark on history for generations. These stories show how a single wrong decision, a missed warning, or an unfortunate accident can create consequences far beyond what anyone could have imagined. They also remind us that history isn't always changed by grand plans, sometimes, it's changed by the smallest of mistakes.